What If You Didn't podcast with Chris Evans, sponsored by JL Solutions Ireland. So this is Michael from the cleaning team. Thanks a million, Michael, for coming on. This is the first episode of the podcast, so we're kind of just learning together. And he's had to travel a long way today from the north side of Dublin. So
had to sit on the M50 for an hour to get
yeah, was
here.
the traffic bad, was it?
Yeah, but for no reason, and then it's just gone.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do work in South Dublin, and I happy give stuff to Chris and stuff like that. Or other people. It just doesn't make sense for me to travel or to send staff in this direction for the return of what we charge. We're a small value service, really.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, say this morning, if you had a job in, say, Tala, for instance, you're an hour getting there. You're probably, half an hour doing a job, and then
you've got paid 40 quid for two and a half hours work.
Yeah.
It doesn't make business sense.
Yeah.
And people do it, and maybe if you built rounds and stuff like that, or got your name out there. And look, if it's quiet, you have to do what you have to do to make a few quid, but I'm sure there's easier ways.
100% there is. But at the end of the day, I always say being self-employed, as you were mentioning before, the cameras were rolling, that you can take your kids to school. There's benefits to it, but as you were saying, there's a side of business that people don't see, especially employees and customers that they don't see. And it's very frustrating because people think you're making absolutely a lot of money, and the reality of it is you have bills,
You're really not. Like, you're probably working off, if you're doing anywhere from 15 to 30% profit, you're really doing a strong business.
100%, yeah.
Most companies aren't running on them numbers.
No.
Like, realistically, you're probably a 10 to 15 on a good month.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're doing well, but like there's months where you might pay yourself for a couple of weeks, or make sure the lads are paid and suppliers are paid and there's fuel for the vans. Like, you're the last person to get paid. And I know you might go to mentors and stuff like that, and they say, the first person to be paid, you should always pay yourself first. Well, if we don't pay the staff, they're not going to
do the job, yeah.
Or if we don't have fuel for the vans, we can't go to work.
Yeah.
So people don't see that side of the business and realise what's actually involved of the grand scheme of it. Like you said about customers even, they don't realise, they think, you came and done the windows on your 3-bed semi-detached house, we charge you €40. It wasn't €40 for us cleaning the windows. That was from point of contact, for us paying for acquiring you as a customer through Meta, through whatever way of advertising we've got in touch. And then for the lads to drive there, that takes time, that takes fuel, that's insurance in a van, that's everything. So there's more to it than us being at your house for 15 to 20 minutes cleaning your windows. We're not making €40 for 20 minutes work. Let's be 100% clear about
100%.
that. And you have the same problems.
Yeah, and then as well, like when you have customers that you have to invoice, it's not just the getting the work, doing the work, it's the aftermath as well, the aftercare, the invoices to customers.
The follow-up messages, making sure they're happy with the service.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if there is an issue, the main thing you need to do as a business owner is stand in front of the problem and fix it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with you.
Worst thing you can do is hide from the problem.
So I just want to go back, you as a person, Michael, as the person, what made you first start in business? Were you working for somebody else? So tell us a bit about
the background,
earlier days,
where you came
to. Yeah.
So I'm actually a mechanic by trade, and then one of my good friends who owns a landscaping business asked me, do you want to open a cleaning company together? Seems to be a hole in the market over in North Dublin. I think it's something we could do both well out of. So the plan was we were going to do it together, and it was working. It was going the right direction. It was slow because it's a new business. You're getting lads to do work, because I was still working full time. He still has his other company full time. And if you're going to do something, the first bit of advice is you need to go all in.
Yeah,
there's no, we'll do 50% of this, or we do 50% of that.
Yeah.
And I know, like you say, if you can, it has to be, can you afford to, or is it worth the risk? And I went to see Steve Bartlett when he was over 2 years ago or a year ago, and you have to look at life as a door, taking the risk. If I go through this door, can I come back through it?
Yeah.
So if I go through the door, what's the potential reward and what's the potential risk of it? And how does it outweigh? So if you're grown, and like you've done in the past, you've grown, but then you reduce your size of one of your companies at one point, but then you're growing again, so you're going back bigger. But it's making that decision saying, I need to try, see if this works, and what's the implications if it doesn't work? What's the cost? What's the knock-on effects? Because everything is like throwing a stone in a puddle, there's a ripple effect.
Yeah, there is. And you know, as well, I always say to people, what is the worst thing that can happen with setting a business up other than financial? Like, I'm not saying put your house on the line to set a business
Yeah,
up, but you know, always start off small scale. And what's the risk you're taking other than financial? You have to go back to a job that you might not like, but then you can regroup and you can go
you can
again.
reassess.
You
And
can
that's the
reassess,
way
yeah.
a lot of entrepreneurs would have worked, because it's never the first business that's the one that works.
Yeah.
It's always, that's the one that they learn the hard lessons from, of,
Yeah.
like you said, the late nights, the invoicing, the doing your VAT return for the stuff for your accountant. Like, that's all part of the whole pricing that you're pricing for a customer, because
Yeah.
we're sitting down in the evening, we have to do over a spreadsheet to send to our accountant for our VAT return every 2 months. And people don't see that side of it.
No.
Yes, we get to drop our kids to school, we can pick them up, we can do stuff like that. But then we have to also sacrifice other parts of our family lives where we
Yeah.
can't do this, or we're on holidays and we're on the phone all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You never get a day off.
You don't.
You don't. We just had a holiday there in January, and I'd say I spent an hour a day with phone calls and emails I had to, and problems and trying to solve problems and stuff. But just going back there where you said you were a mechanic, were you working for somebody at the
Yeah.
time?
So I
Or
worked as a mechanic, left school at 16, worked my way up, done my apprenticeship, worked my way up to a foreman's role, worked my way up to senior management was my last position in the
Yeah.
company. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not telling everyone to leave school here, but like, school's not the be all and end all. If I was a senior manager in a motor group like that have multiple sites and they were huge, and I was in a senior management role for them with no college degree, no leaving cert,
yeah,
but I had real world experience.
yeah.
And a lot of it's down to that.
So sometimes real world experience will
Outweighs it.
outweigh any qualification. It really does. My industry myself, I've worked in it since I was 16. I've technically got no qualifications in my business, but I've had real world experience, as you say.
You've been hands on.
Hands on.
You've been
done the
there when
job.
there's a problem.
Yeah.
How do I fix it? What do I do to overcome it? And it's about how do you do that and managing that. But like you said, what's the risk of setting up a business? I think when we initially set the business up, we could have both put 10 grand each into it.
Yeah. Have you been going long? Has the business been going long?
October 23, we opened.
Yeah.
And then I finally left work and went full time at it in July. And at that point, we realized we couldn't run two companies at the same time, because his business it's getting established. He's 7 years in business now. But we're trying to run that, which is a landscaping business, which would be a more lucrative or profitable business,
100%.
let's call it.
Does it go hand in hand? Doing landscaping, does the cleaning go hand in hand?
Yeah, in ways. Like, so I still do work with him. We're still good friends. We speak all the time. And he'd get me onto a job at the end to clean up, because his lad's time is better spent moving on to the next project rather than to power wash and finish
doing the cleanup. Yeah,
that's our line of work. So when we parted ways, we literally just drew a line in the sand, and I gave him back his initial investment, and I took all the risk going forward.
And then it's just solely you now.
It's solely me. And from July, I think I had hired someone come February the following year. So within 6 or 7 months, I'd put a second van full time on the road.
And that's a massive risk that people don't see. I had somebody reach out to me in the week saying, when do you know going from that first van to the next van? And that's the risk people don't see. When you took that risk taking somebody on second van, you're almost essentially doubling all your outlays, and then you've got this new wage coming in, and essentially you have to get double, if not more than double amount of work to cover that van, cover that wages, and it is a massive risk to do that.
Yeah, and then I think within 6 months of that, I went to van 3. So I was still working at that time on the tools, but now I've stepped back and I have the 2 vans out full time every day.
And you're managing.
And I'm managing it, looking for the work, trying to build the customer experience, let's call it. So from point of contact to aftercare, like you touched on earlier on, that we are following up. And if there is an issue, I know people could say, Irish English people are very like that. We just don't complain. It's not something we do. Look, they just won't use you again, or they'll say they wouldn't recommend you, and
they'll just stop answering back to you.
And that's not what I want or what you want in your business. We want to keep the customer. We've paid to acquire you as a customer through meta leads or whatever form of marketing we're using at the time. So that could have cost us, say, 10 to 30 euro per acquisition. So we want to keep you, and we want to then have you getting us 5-6 times a year for us to really benefit. Because on the first job, it's probably run at a break even if you're lucky.
Yeah.
If not a minus figure. Like if it's cost me 30 euro to acquire you as a window cleaning customer, I'm charging you 40. I've lost money on that job. So I need to keep you to benefit from you as a customer.
Yeah. I seen something there in the week where it was saying, don't look at a customer, say if they're spending 50 euro, don't look at them as a 50 euro customer. Say they 4 times a year, that's 200 euro. Look at them as a 200 euro. And I'm not just saying window cleaning, it could be anything. If you're getting multiple leads or multiple jobs from that one customer, look at them as a bigger picture rather than individual, just one-off job. Yeah, and you're 100% right. So just going back to the mechanic days, and so you just left school, you went straight into that, and were you doing an apprenticeship?
Done an apprenticeship, took 4 years, and when I became qualified, I left my employer that put me through the apprenticeship. And the reason for that was I felt at the time, and could have been the right or the wrong move at the time, but would you always be looked upon as the apprentice?
Yeah, I get that.
You need to go in there into the next job as, no, I'm qualified. I am a qualified mechanic.
Yeah.
I'm here to do qualified mechanics work, and there'll be apprentices there to do the apprentice job.
Yeah.
That's the way I saw it at the time.
And it's right. You know, in some ways that happened to me in my early stage of the career. And 100% agree with you there. People do look at you a certain way if you've come up from the bottom, and then they put you in like a box.
Yeah. And you never get out of it.
never get out of that box. But, you know, you've clearly always had that drive into you, the fact that you went from being on the shop floor right the way up to a senior management role. And you could have easily took the easy route in life and took that for the rest of your life. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with taking that position or, you know, for the rest of your career, but to take a massive jump like that to do your own thing, it is it's impressive. Like, and
parts of you'd look at, you probably took a pay cut. Like I probably would have been in a 6-figure role, with a brand new company car every January. Like, people think company cars are great. I do. You have to pay it. There's benefit in kind.
Yeah.
The government take money off you for everything.
For everything.
But
yeah,
people be looking, going, look, he left a 6-figure job. He has a mortgage. He has 3 kids.
You left the easy life, as they would say. Yeah.
To go this route, and I probably am still nowhere near what I would have been making in the old job, but I'm looking at this as a marathon, not a sprint.
100%, yeah.
And you have to look at everything like that, and not look at, oh, we had a bad day today, we only made 500 euro, or you have to look at it as a month, a quarter, a half year, a full year, and to get big picture, because you'll have your days where you might do 3 grand for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it'll benefit you, but you just can't get bogged down in the small things like, oh, we didn't make this, or the weather's bad. We own an exterior cleaning company in Ireland. Do you know what I mean? People think, are you crazy?
Yeah.
But there's one day this year we haven't worked, and actually wasn't Thursday of last week when the storm was. It was the Friday, because customers were like, it's supposed to be worse today, and they wanted to cancel. And on the cancelling bit, that's probably something we do need to talk about as a whole as well, because the customers don't realise the knock-on effect of a small business when they turn around. I send ETAs the day before, or I try to do it a couple of days before, but it can be up to 24 hours before that we're sending you an ETA, because we want to fill the day to its full potential, do up our routes, and then send a message to customers saying, we'll be with you between 9 and 11 or 10 and 12. Like, I do believe from my motor trade career, I've focused on the customer experience, the customer satisfaction, and the whole journey for the customer. Like, yes, we're a window cleaning, exterior cleaning business, but we don't want to be only tar ourselves with the man on the bike back in the day. Maybe they didn't have the overheads we had because they had a ladder and a squeegee and a bucket.
A dirty rag on the
and a dirty rag.
Yeah.
They're using your water. They're probably asking you for fairy liquid to clean their windows.
Yeah.
When we're showing up with our van that has purified water in it, we have the best of equipment. We don't skimp on anything. And people don't see that bit of it. And for them to turn around and say, something's come up last minute, like, you knew you were booked in from at least a week ago.
Yeah.
Just pick up the phone, send a message, can we move, Michael? Does it suit? Or, look, you can leave the site gate open. We can work away. We can take car payment over the phone. We can bank transfer. We can do whatever you need to do. We can drop back and get the money. The money is the irrelevant bit in my eyes of never being stung or done out of a job. by a customer actually once, and I won't talk about that, but I just haven't gone back to him. He'll never get a job done off me again. It was only a €40 set of windows, but no one else has done it. So I want you to get your windows cleaned because that's what you're booked in for, or for your gutters cleaned, if your power washing. And if the money is, I have to drop back on Friday to collect it off you because that's when we're next in the area.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine with us. Like, we don't take deposits. Maybe we should, but I'm all about, someone says they want the space, I assume you're not going to let me down or you're going to give me notice.
Yeah. Like, we had one there last week where we were due to do a chimney sweep for a customer north side of Dublin. We had a few jobs bunched in. Everything was okay. The lad texts me, there's no answer, which, you know yourself, it happens all the time. But
Can you send me the customer's number? I'll give them a shout.
Yeah. So I went back and I went on to the messages and I got a number. But I originally got it from TikTok. It was an inquiry. She sent me a message.
Yeah.
And she'd blocked the number and she'd blocked the message with it. So I'd had a lad who traveled probably 15 minutes out of the way to go and do a chimney sweep, and it was ignored. That's €75 out of the revenue from the day. And as you say, it has a knock-on effect.
You've planned for that. Or even worse, you've let other customers down. Like, so someone else wanted that spot. You've said your next availability is the following week. They may have needed it done for whatever reason sooner. We let them down because you were the first person there, but then you let us down. So we have staff to pay, we have fuel to put in vans. All we're asking for is, to be fair, on both sides of it.
And it had a knock-on effect because then it sounds like you do something similar to myself where you give kind of like hour slots.
Yeah.
So then by her not answering and blocking, we had an hour free there. So I just had a guy that was just in limbo and he's probably sat in the van with the engine running, burning diesel, you know, and it had a knock-on effect.
On the engine. It's everything that
goes with it. So you went into an apprenticeship, you set up by yourself. I can only talk from my personal experience, but when you were setting up the first van and you decided, right, this is me, I'm doing this, what were your challenges of learning about purified water? What equipment do I buy? What am I going to do? What am I going to need? What were them challenges for you?
I actually had a customer from my old job who was a window cleaner who actually gave me a lot of his time. And I'll always do it for anybody else who needs it or advice in the industry, because I don't care what anyone says. I can't wash every window. You can't wash every window. And also, we don't want to wash every window because some customers, either they're not for us or we're not for them. Like, everybody's not everybody's customer.
Yeah.
And people have to realize that. And they think, oh, you're robbing their work. No, they came to me.
Yeah.
Why haven't they gone to you? That's a you problem. That's not a me problem.
What I've found as well, it's very territorial. The amount of people that have you're in my area.
Or they don't say that to you. No, or they'll ignore you. When anybody, hi, how are you? How are you getting on? Are you busy? Like, what's the gain of being rude?
It's a funny old industry, but I just know from when I was learning, I was essentially learning it from scratch, pure water.
It's big in the UK, isn't it? Like, window cleaning is massive over there. And when we wanted to set up, all our purchases have to come through the UK. Like, I think we actually bought the same system unknown until yesterday when we were speaking that it comes from the UK. It's a facelift system. It worked, but any system that I have in a van now is a built system. So I have always at my house 1,000 litres of filtered, purified water in an IBC with a hose. The lads can pump in like a fuel into their van every day.
That's a great idea, yeah.
And
then you just do it then with
they just have a resin bottle in the van, so it'll polish the water at the end. So I have a 5 on a TDS meter at my house, and then the resin will polish it to 0.
And then it runs through then at the pump through the unit then, yeah.
And it's much more cost effective.
We were at the start, myself, I was doing the jobs before I even took anybody on.
That's what we had 6 months of it or something.
We had the little unit that we plug into the garden hose and had the little measurement for the pure water and stuff. Turning up, customers probably looking at me going, what is this fella doing? Like, and you have to do that, the hard yards, as I would call them, to get to where you need to be. But so how many vans do you have on the road at the moment?
We have 2, and we always had, so when we set up, we always had 2 vans.
Yeah.
Because I got a good deal on a van when I left my old job, and we had bought another van through the initial investment.
Yeah.
So we always had 2 vans, and then I got a good deal on another one. So now we have 3 vans and 2 staff.
So what's do you have a goal for the next 12 months, 5? Yeah. Like, I like to do 5-year plans for both my businesses and for myself personally as well.
Then work backwards.
And then work backwards, yeah. And then,
stepping stones to where you want to
sometimes you
finish.
don't achieve it. I had a 5-year plan 5 years ago, and I've achieved some things I haven't.
And there's bits you'll take over saying, should have went that way about that. Or
100%. And it is all a learning curve. I think you have to make mistakes in business in general to evolve really in business.
And that's what I looked at. So I've done a lot of time now. I've rented an office. I've spent a lot of time and money with trying to figure out where are we at. So if I run the business currently as it sits, I'll pay myself, I'll pay the lads, we'll cover costs with 2 vans on the road. Business will only ever break even. There's no profit in it, but I'll have a lifestyle where I can pick my kids up, I can do this, I can do that. I can be sitting here shooting a podcast on a Thursday morning. I don't need to be somewhere. So I have that luxury, but I'm not in this to break even. So I'm hiring 2 lads, but let's call them 1.5 people who'll make money, because one's going to go full time into the 3rd van and the other person's going to be in a van with people. So that'll increase how much that van needs to make, and we can take more into that van every day. So that's my plan, and that'll bring the business to making money, and hopefully at some point we might get our investment back out of the company.
Yeah, well, you do have to put the money back in, to grow the business and to invest, to get to where you need to be and where you want to be as well. But if you had a question for younger Michael 2-3 years ago, what would you ask him now? What would you tell him now?
What would you advise him to do?
What would you advise him to do? Like, what were your mistakes that you've learned from? You don't have to go into detail, but it might be a brief. I should have done this. A
lot of stuff I realized was around marketing. Like, marketing's big, and I've helped people set up businesses, and I've told them you need to market. They think it's a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. Like, I pay a marketing company to manage my social media for me.
And would you recommend that to people?
Yeah, 100%. It's worth every penny of it. By the time I figure out how Facebook's working, or Meta, let's call it, because it goes across both platforms, how their algorithms work, all this, I'm taken away from getting the work in, that I'm focused on trying to build ads and stuff like that. For when I pay someone who knows what they're doing and that's what they're good at, leave them at it. We've used that marketing company since October 23 when the business opened. A lad from Kerry, Kieran from AdSuite, very good, very helpful. Ring him any time of the day. He'll answer the phone. I'll bounce ideas off him with, this isn't working or that's not working. So we pay him a fee every month. But then at the moment for 2 lads, I'm paying Meta €80 a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So my biggest outlay after salary, and it could be even higher than salaries nearly, is marketing.
Well, it's the modern way, isn't it? It is the modern way. I spoke to you the other day, and I said, I spent 10 hours one day. I got one with leaflets knocking on doors, old school way. But that was me, again, brand new business, just trying to learn.
Having to get working. I paid my nephews, they're 15.
Yeah.
Here's a few quid, here's a couple of leaflets. Don't throw them into your area. I also paid a leaflet company to deliver them. I never believe leaflets work in this day and age. I get them in the door. I don't look at them.
In the green bin.
I don't look at them. I'm not going to lie.
No.
Maybe people who get them as a 1 leaflet, you have a better chance.
Yeah.
But it's when it's going in with 3 or 4 other leaflets, you're gone. No chance, if they're not interested in the top one, that could be Super Value or Domino's or someone like that.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's got to be down to how much money I'm giving the leaflet business versus how much you're giving them is going to be where you're going to end up in that pile of 4, I think.
Yeah. I looked at that. I looked at a cost to get a company in. I think 1,000 leaflets.
It's not expensive.
It's not expensive, but at the same time, I was literally like, if I put that same amount of money into Meta ads or whatever, or even Google ads, I even learned a valuable lesson when I first set the JL Solutions up and I started doing ads. I was doing ads on my phone through the app.
Yeah.
And then they actually take a higher fee by doing it on the phone than they do on a computer.
It's madness.
But they're little things that I learned. I was like, the hard way. Paying an extra 20, 30 euro in some charges, fees, whatever they said it was. When if I just go onto my computer,
it wasn't costing me that.
It didn't cost me.
And I've tried that. I've done the leaflets. So I'm based out of Swords. I covered the whole of Swords, 35,000 leaflets. I think the cost was minimal. It could have been 12 or 1,300 euro.
Yeah.
If I got 12 or 1,300 euro worth of work out of it, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Didn't
The return's not
the
worth it.
return's not
No.
there. Leaflets don't work anymore. It's a different age than it was back then. I think I tried Google ads. I tried Google ads for commercial work, for residential work. And then you get random people who try apply for a job through it and tell you how great they are at cleaning windows. You're like, going, you've cost me money to do this.
Just by clicking on
by clicking on this.
Yeah.
And I just realised for my industry or for my business, maybe it works for you for JL Solutions, but doesn't work for me. That I don't get work out of Google. I haven't. And I don't know why. I've done it for commercial. I'll do commercial anywhere in Ireland because commercial is different than residential.
You can charge.
I'm not going to travel to Cork to clean one set of windows. Yeah. If you got a big building down there, it could be valuable for you to send 2 lads down for the day, and you might make money out of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So your coverage obviously is Dublin. You advertise as Dublin.
And I go as far as like Drogheda,
Navan.
Kind of that area because I don't have to deal with traffic all day.
Yeah. And it essentially is that M50 or the N7 is just
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, yeah. See, for us, as I've spoken in the past, like, for us, we cover a larger area for JL Solutions, but I have other works that I can tie in, so that's fine.
You can have them doing something else for your other business or whatever you need to do.
But going forward, you obviously said that you're going to get extra fans, extra guys. Are you looking to add any new services, or are you looking to take away services? Is there something? I'm basically just where I'm going with this is if people were looking in to set up a business, whatever it might be, adding services, is it a good idea? Taking away services,
I've looked at it, and I think we might have touched on it yesterday or the other day when we were talking. Like, we set it up as a window cleaning business, but I can't run it as a window cleaning business because I cannot get the lads to do enough work to cover costs and to make money by just cleaning windows, because I've had customers saying they're too quick, they're this. Even though the windows are perfect, mentally they believe I've given you €40 for 10 15 minutes. Yeah. But we've bought the tools to make us efficient, to make the lads be able to do this. That we're not on ladders, we're not up and down. And that's why John on the bike, who came to your house for years and was there for an hour, and you made him a sandwich and a cup of tea.
Yeah.
While he done your windows with your water, his dirty cloth, your soap. And he probably charged you 20 quid. But what did he have to pay out of that? Because he had no overheads. He didn't have vans. He didn't have insurance. He had a ladder and a bucket.
Yeah. Just actually going back to the old school window cleaners. My mother and father in Liverpool, they have a window cleaner they had for since I was a kid.
Forever.
Like, the dad was doing it. The son's doing it. I even think his son is doing it now. And I was over there and I said to my mother and father, I said, how much are you paying for the window cleaning? We're charging 40, whatever, €50.
Curiosity.
Yeah, £6. And like, there's a huge conservatory at the back. It's a bungalow. It's huge, £6.
But if you were to price that job in Dublin, how much would you price it at?
It'd be 50 plus. It'd probably be close to 65, to be honest. Like,
and it's £6.
£6. And my mother goes,
how long would it take them?
Yeah, it's crazy. My mother says, look at this. He didn't clean this window properly. I said, what do you want for £6? Like, if he just splashed the window and say, gives me £6, and
you're lucky,
like, yeah. But this guy has had how he must make it work.
So many houses on the road.
Like in our road, he has pretty much the whole road, of course.
And how many houses would be there?
About 15 houses. So he comes along, he has a couple of guys. You can hear him coming down the street, the coins jingling in his pockets. Like,
how is he, even at that, how is he, even say, quick maths, like it's 70 or 80 quid he's getting for being at every house. Like, he's not making money.
And it's tough on the body. Like, I had a comment on TikTok where a guy was like, I know someone who does, I can't remember what it was, 20
million houses
50 houses a day or something like that. When I first started JL Solutions, if you don't 10 to 12, you'd be feeling it the next day on the body. Like,
the most we ever pushed was when me and Daniel had set up the business at the start. We went out, we done an offer on a Saturday just to try and get the name out there, see what was involved. And I think we done 17 houses. And that was 2 people in the van. And it was all in the one area. So it was easy to do. And people don't realise that. That's where we try to build our routes to suit us as much as the customer. That, no, sorry, we're only in your area on a Tuesday or a Thursday or whatever. Because for us to drive to your house to do one set of windows to Navan, to Swords, it just doesn't add up. So we need them to make the lads' routes as efficient as possible to try and make money. And I think you touched on how much you need to turn over a day, and people do be shocked by it. Like, if you're not turning over 600, 700 euro per van per day, you're not going to make money.
You're not going to make no money now. And it's crazy,
and it's not easy.
I have trucks, as you know, and we would charge that truck out, say, for $9.50 for the day. And that truck is worth a lot of money.
And they're expensive.
And it's expensive to run and whatever. I just can't believe that in Ireland you can get similar money for lads in a van, and it is crazy. But you do have to earn. I think I have it around 650, 750, where that guy in the van, that van has
covers his wages,
and it also covers the days where, say he has 12 jobs one day, he might only have 4 or 6 the next day.
But he's still paid on a Friday for full week.
He's still paid on a Friday, yeah.
And I do be like that with my staff. That look, if the jobs are done right and it's done, go home at 2 o'clock. I don't pay them by the hour. I kind of just give them a salary. And
I'm the same. Yeah, give them a day rate.
Rate. That's the price for the day. Whether you're there till 2 or you're there till 6.
Yeah.
Take
the rough with the smooth, rough with the smooth.
And it does balance.
Yeah,
I think more in their favour than in our favour.
Yeah, 100%. And I suppose you got a lot of your experience dealing with staff and stuff from the other industry, and you do have to staff. I would say the top for the most problematic, and then it's obviously the customers, and then it's the vehicles and the equipment. And so we're just going to start wrapping it up. At the moment, I want to ask a question: if you could do it all over again, would you start it again, or would you have kept doing the mechanic job?
Definitely would have kept. Definitely still would have done what I done.
Yeah.
I think 100% made the right decision. It's given me my family life a good setup. Probably the same with yourself. And we talked to you yesterday. Like, if there's a recession tomorrow, I'll make a wage to make sure my mortgage is paid. There's food on the table for my family, but I don't think I'd ever go back to being a PAYE. And
no.
Look, we do need them in the world.
Yeah.
Our businesses wouldn't function without them. Everyone's not an entrepreneur or don't have the mindset to think what happens. And I've had staff say to me, how does your brain work like that? And it's just go.
ADHD, I think.
It's literally that. And that's the cost that goes with it, that you want the staff to be happy. You want them to be paid a full week every Friday. And that's all you want to do. But there is days where you can't because of weather. You have to stay at home, and it is a weather-dependent job. But if you want to get paid a full day every week, get an office job where it's dry.
Yeah. So what if you didn't do it at the start? Where do you think you'd be now? Like,
don't know. Like, I'd probably still be there, because I did speak about this with my brother in the past, saying, look, will we open it? And he was like, don't know, is it worth it? Will we try it on the weekends? And I'm kind of like what we said earlier on, that like, we don't drink at home. You said you don't drink at home. If we're going for a drink, I want to go to the pub. Yeah. I'm an all-in type of person that if I'm doing something, I'm doing it. If we're going for a pint, we're going for a pint in the pub.
Yeah.
I don't bring that to my house. People drink in their house, by all means. I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do, but I'm saying it's just not for me. It never was, never appealed to me.
I like the aspect of the pub where you go, the atmosphere, and you get talking to some mad outfit at the bar. Some mad
How are you getting on?
You know what I mean? That's me as well. Like, we're currently sat in my shed, and I do have optics, and I've got a beer fridge, but only when we're having parties, Christmas or whatever. Over. Yeah, I just don't like house drinking. I don't even see the point in having 1 or 2 beers either. Like,
just teasing yourself.
Yeah, just teasing yourself. I'd end up in the pub anyway. Yeah.
So I think people, if they want to do something or would like advice, don't be afraid to reach out. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
You're in the same 100%. Position.
Just before we go, do you want to just let people know what your socials are and what your website is? And
look,
get in touch with you.
We're called thecleaningteam.ie. That's our website. You'll get us on that. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. The name kind of gets me a small bit because it's very close to another business's name. There's one called Cleaning Team, which don't do exterior, they do interior office, and we're called the Cleaning Team. So people don't pick up on that sometimes, but if you are ever looking for us, my number, I can drop it in a link at the bottom.
We'll drop it in. We'll drop it into it, and we'll drop the link to the website as well.
Don't be afraid to ever reach out. We're here to give prices. We're looking for work all the time, and we do pride ourselves on our Google reviews. Like, we have only a 5-star review, and that's down to being fair with customers and giving them a fair price for a fair service. And if there is a problem, and like, whether I wash them or you wash them, people who say they'll be paid every time, they're probably lying to you. dirt can come off a seal, can come out of a vent.
Yeah.
If the windows haven't been cleaned in the past, or if we haven't been maintaining them. So sometimes you have to bear with window cleaning businesses for the first clean.
Yeah.
But they will get better the more regular you do them.
Would you charge a different rate for a first clean to a regular clean?
No, I don't.
I know some companies do.
Yeah. And is it something we should look at? But then do you reduce your customers? And I also thought if someone wanted to use us monthly or everything else, would I do a better rate? I possibly would look at that because their original price were 35. And any customers with us from the start have never increased their prices. Other businesses have, and I know they have in the past, but it's not me. If you've come in at that price, I'll stand over it, or I've given you a price a few months ago, and if I can stand over it, I will. But our costs are constantly going up. Small businesses, we have pensions now we have to pay for.
Yeah.
We have all these overheads. The cost of living are going up. The staff want more money, but it's hard for us to pass it on. But you don't mind giving it to the multinationals like Dunstars or Aldi, because you need to. And window cleaning and power washing and gutters, is it a luxury rather than a necessity?
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, it probably
do you know
is.
What I mean?
Yeah,
like, You could clean your own windows. You could do your own power washing. Gutters, possibly not. There's probably a bit more in it with safety.
Yeah, 100%. Like I always say, the wife says, this needs fixing or that needs doing. And I always value my time. I'm sure your customers and my customers do. Like if I need something painting, I'll get someone to paint it.
I'll pay a painter.
Because I'm not doing it. Like,
and even at that, I'd agree with how I'm saying, what about clean? I was like, I'll just pay a cleaner to clean the house. And she's like, I don't want the cleaner to clean the house. I was like, but I value my time.
Yeah, 100%.
Differently now that I work for myself, that I see, like you said, if painting needs to be done, I don't know how a painter does it.
No,
genuinely, it's the same wall. It doesn't change.
I know a couple of painters,
and it's not easy.
It's not easy.
But if you're good at it, you're good.
You're good at it. We had where we used to live. I needed to paint the house. I painted the living room, the walls, the ceiling, and the mother-in-law walked in, and I got distracted. I put my foot in the paint, and then I walked it all on the wooden floor. And the wife said, "I'm ring your mate there and get him to paint this. Not a chance.
Stop it. Stop being miserable and just fucking pay him for it."
Anything now, like I'm not great with DIY or
Yeah, and neither am I. And I'd happily just, if that's the price for someone to do it, I see the value in someone doing it because of what gives back to me. And you see that even in your own time where you've recently hired someone for the office.
Yeah.
Because your time is better spent doing other stuff that's not a €1 task, let's call it, and it's a €1,000 task. Like, what can you bring to the business rather than small admin stuff that's not really relevant? It's relevant, obviously, for the business to run. But you can bring more value by going to meet a client or like you're doing now, you're ringing a new business every day. And that's not easy to make them cold calls and accept the defeat. I've paid for a platform to trial for a month called Rocket Reach. I suppose he has all customer data on it that if I want to speak to procurement managers in Lidl or in Tesco, their details are there. I've sent emails. I've tried to contact them. People don't want to talk to you unless they need you.
Yeah, 100%. And what I was trying to show on social media by doing one call a day to a potential customer is it just becomes second nature. And I'm trying to teach people that don't send a big email. They don't want that. Try and keep them on the phone for a long time and give them a spiel. Because I get people contacting Ancora all the time trying to sell me stuff. And I give people more time if it's just short, straight to the point. And I've just learned that doing sales over the years, that straight to the point and just do it. Take yourself out of that comfort zone every single day because you just get used to it. It just becomes second nature. You speak to people and the work does come in. You might ring 50 people, 100 people, and you might get one job, but it might be one facilities manager. It could change your business, overnight. My business, COVID for me, my Encore Environmental, COVID for me was the making of my business, where other people would want to stay indoors. I was willing to put myself out there.
We'll go there. We'll do this. We'll do that for you.
We'll do that. And we got, just as COVID happened, we got a contract. And then from that contract, it snowballed.
And that's where it happens. Like, I actually done some customer's house in Navan, done our windows last year myself. And turned out she was a manager in St. Michael's house. And she sent an email to all the managers because they're self-managed. And the amount of work I got out of just doing the windows in her house, and I didn't ask her to do this. She just saw the job I done in her house, says, do you do commercial work? And the answer was yes. And she's like, oh, look, I manage St. Michael's House. Would you mind doing it for us? Send us a bill. I got set up as a supplier. They give me a PO. And this is the other side people don't realise about business. I didn't have to wait 90 days to get that money, but I still have to pay people on a daily or a weekly basis.
Yeah. We've got a large customer now, and they pay every 3 months, and that has all. We had a massive knock-on effect when we first got
the initial
3 months was a large.
You've fueled the vans, you've sent the lads to do the work.
Yeah, it was a large outlay, and you don't see that. But like you're just saying about a PO there, I remember all them years ago how naive you are, and someone said, "I'll send a PO." What's a PO? Like, you just like I didn't know at the time.
And you do have to chase them for a time.
You do have to chase them.
And you're kind of going.
By the way, it's a purchase order.
Am I annoying that person by ringing them all the time?
Yeah.
If I don't have this, your accounts department's not going to pay.
They're not going to pay.
And
even if there's a line wrong or a figure wrong, it's another delay on the payments.
But they'll delay that as long as they can.
Yeah.
To knock you into the next 90 days.
Yeah. It's not easy, but I always say if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But look, Michael, thanks a million for taking your time.
Thanks for the opportunity to be on it. And like we said, we're open to help people if they want business advice. I thought about doing stuff before. Do you set up a networking group with other businesses that I may have seen a problem that you haven't seen before, or how have you overcome this versus how would I overcome it? And it's more supporting each other than people think someone's out to get them. Like,
100%. Yeah,
I'm not here to rob anyone's customers, but if your customers reach out to me or reach out to you, that's just life. You've done something wrong that you haven't given them the customer experience, you haven't followed up, or maybe you told them you'd go back to fix something and you didn't.
Yeah.
They're more important than the customer who hasn't paid you yet. They've given you their money. They need to be top of your list tomorrow, the next day, or when their next availability is to fix that issue. Yeah,
just there, you just said something that really triggered something in me. Not triggered, sorry, clicked in my head. That it's easy to get the customer. It's harder to keep hold of the customer. And where you say about working with people, I am a firm believer, the likes of yourself. If I need help, I could pick up the phone, Michael, any chance of a hand here, and vice versa. And I think there's a real stigma, not just in our industry, in every single industry, that they're a competitor. You don't make relationships, don't build relationships. I just think it's a backward way of thinking, especially at this day and age. We all should be working together. There's enough work for absolutely everybody. Absolutely everybody.
And I had that a few weeks ago where a customer reached out to me from South Dublin for 2 houses, for 2 sets of gutters and windows. And I just said, look, I don't do it, but I can pass your details on to Chris.
Yeah.
You reach out, you run the job. The customer actually texts me saying, thanks very much for passing on his details. They've done a great job. And I'll happily work with any business who does have a high standard and does care about the customers the way we do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it to someone who's going to give me a bad name because I've recommended them.
Yeah.
Because that will happen. It's like if someone says, would you recommend someone for a job? Unless I really trust that person.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not recommending them.
Because it's putting your reputation on the line as well, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's the thing, but I'd happily give it. I don't want anything to give you work. That's the way I work in life, that I've given it to you. You got the job. Great.
Thank you for listening to the What If You Didn't podcast. For more episodes like this, like and subscribe. Sponsored by JL Solutions Ireland.